All right, I'm doing another update. I think this is update number 10. I've been home for about a week now from Arkansas, and over this last week I was back at work in the office, and it was really good to see coworkers and friends and kind of get back into the swing of things. I felt pretty good most of the week. I was able to do a couple workouts. However, toward the end of the week, I noticed that the growth factor shots that they gave me to help produce the stem cells they harvested and also elevated my white blood cells probably started to wear off because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I started to feel pretty low again. However, today I'm feeling pretty good. So in this last week, kind of a funny thing that happened. I was washing my face before bed and half my beard fell off in the sink. And so I ended up just shaving it off. And everything else is starting to fall off too. My eyebrows are super thin. And, in my last update video, I shared that I was putting a deodorant on and my deodorant stick had an afro when I pulled it out from under my shirt. So that's all expected. That's all part of the process. That's all going to happen again with these next courses of chemo. While I was at Arkansas, the last trip, Jess, her sister, and our neighbor worked together to put this really awesome wood plank wall up in what we call our playroom. This room was once Tyler's room where he kept his toys and his Xbox and that kind of stuff. And when he outgrew most of that, we turned it into the room that I was doing training in. You can still see we've got these puzzle piece mats down on the ground for when I was teaching private clients combatives out of the house here. Turns out it's really good for sound dampening too. So big picture, we are starting a podcast. It's something that people have been asking me to do for years, and I've really been too shy to do it. I've had this feeling that, no one really wants to hear me run my mouth about my story. I'm not that special anyway. But, things have changed, and I've been convinced otherwise that, I should share some of the things I've been through and share my story and share the lessons I've learned. If not for anybody else, to do it for Tyler and for Jess, so that there's this memorial of experiences that maybe Tyler will want to lean on one day, and maybe I won't be around when he needs that advice. So we can memorialize it now through video. So we're starting a podcast. It's pretty awesome. We're going to do a video podcast. So Jess was and is a kind of an amateur hobbyist photographer and videographer. So we had a bunch of stuff already accumulated to do video. Like we've got these lights. See if I can get this. We got lights like this and kind of like that guy there that over the years we've put together for different video projects. And we got this one on MacBid as we were thinking about doing this project. And we've got some buddies that kind of helped loan us some of their podcasting equipment. And we picked up a few little things ourselves to see if is this worth it? And is this worth the investment to do this long term? So we're going to borrow some equipment and use some of the stuff we have already and, see what you guys think. And as time goes on, we may do more. But I'm going to show you around the studio here real quick. So this is kind of where we're going to be seated and doing our podcast. And we've got these really awesome tripods here to hold our phones. So we're going to be using our phones as cameras because, well, they're great cameras anyway, and no need to buy something extra. And here's that wall that Jess and our neighbor put up. And we had a buddy whose dad is an electrician, and he came by and helped us put these lights in. And the guy's amazing. He didn't really charge us anything for it, less than probably his gas, which was an amazing gift. So That's all I've got for this week, and I'll keep you guys updated as to how we're doing next week. Oh, one last thing. I had someone reach out to me and say something to the effect of, you know, James, we're all rooting for you, and, we're saying that you can do this, and, we want you to be strong, but I don't want you to feel like you can't share when you're having a hard time. And I feel like maybe you're suppressing that, or you're not allowing yourself to grieve, and you're not allowing yourself to suffer is kind of the message behind it. But I want you guys to know something, that, my good attitude with this is genuine. I really am doing okay, and I really do feel a sense of gratitude. When I say that, it's not just a platitude. I'm taking a perspective on this where I'm looking for the things to be grateful. And, I am grateful that I understand that time is limited. So now each day I can make powerful. I can disregard the things that need to be disregarded, and I can focus on the things that need to be focused on. And it's been a gift. So I really am grateful. But I do have days and I have moments where it's hard. And, I think about, this podcast idea, like, why am I doing this podcast? And it's to memorialize lessons so that Tyler can have them after I'm gone, and that Jess can have memories of me after I'm gone. And that idea sucks. But I've mourned those thoughts already, and I can't do anything about that. And so to linger on them it's not beneficial. It doesn't help. And it doesn't help to make the time I have now more beautiful. So I'm going to deliberately focus on the things that I can control and be grateful for what I can be grateful with. And honestly, I'm doing okay. Emotionally, mentally, I think I've gotten through the hard parts of this, and this has kind of become a new normal for me. It just is what it is. And, there's nothing I can really do about that. When I was getting ready to deploy to Iraq, I was convinced, and I kind of had this image of myself that, I was probably going to lose a leg or two during my deployment. And I had prepared my mind for that ahead of time. And I had come to peace with that ahead of time. And I even had plans of, like, all right, when I get back from Fallujah, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to figure out how to play wheelchair basketball. Now, for those that know me, playing basketball of any kind is not a good idea. Go sports ball. I don't know the rules. I don't know how to do it. I know how to hit people and smash things, and that's about it. But I was determined I would figure out how to do that. Or I would try to run a marathon on prosthesis. So even then, when I had this upcoming thing that I was, could have been terrified with, that would have totally changed the direction of my life, I made peace with it, and I made plans of how to attack it. I'm kind of doing that now with this too. And it's given me a sense of control, and it's given me a sense of purpose. And part of this podcast is that sense of purpose. It's, what can I do to share my experiences and to find purpose in, through what may change, because everything's going to change. So how do I find new purpose? And that's part of what this is. So I want you guys to know I really am doing okay. And what you see is not manufactured. It's not false motivation or false positivity. It's genuine. So I just wanted to end on that. And as with how I say goodbye to my family in the mornings, We never say, have a great day, because, having a great day is something that is, it's happenstance, it's circumstantial. And so what we say is make today great, because, we all have control in how we approach things with our attitude. So I'll close off this update with that. Make today great.